Good afternoon, people. Today we are doing athlete class, so that is body weight only. So we're going to do some stretching and some mobility and opening stuff to begin with, and then we'll move on to a bit more intensity towards the end of the program. So maybe after about 15, 20 minutes, we'll move into intensity. So let's start off just with a warm-up. So outdoor people, let's do 2 laps just to start off with. Nikita, Zoom people, we'll do some miscellaneous cardio for about a minute, and then we'll get on with it. For today's class, no equipment is required, which is good. Just yourself, maybe a mat if you have it. A foam roller, if you have it, might help you, but it's not necessary for today. In fact, while you're on your warm-up lap, I'm going to go grab some foam rollers. So just continue as you were. You just won't see me on screen for another 45 seconds. Where? Top of the flat. Oh, hello. I'm not afraid of bugs. My wife would have to buy a new laptop. Sorry, class is over. Yeah. Okay, sorry about that delay there. Hopefully just skip through that if you're watching on recording. So I just went and grabbed the foam roller box. And Liana's just joined us now as well. I just went and grabbed the foam roller box. We're not going to do foam rolling per se, but if anyone wants to grab a foam roller, you may use it as part of our thing today. Yeah, you might. Well, I don't know. I mean, I'm just really tight. So there are things that I can't do that other people just find really easy. And sometimes you're just flexible in the right places and you don't need it. So if you have a foam roller, grab it. If you don't worry too much. Maybe you'll be flexible enough without it. We'll see. So we're going to start with some holds, and then we'll move into some doing stuff, some more more active mobility. Let's start on the ground. We'll do a happy baby to begin with today, guys. So we've been through this one before. This is just keep your foam roller to the side. I'm not going to need it just yet. So this is where we're sitting just on the floor. I make kind of a diamond with my feet and my knees, like that. Put my hands on the inside of my feet. And so my elbows are on the inside of my knees. And then I just roll back onto my back, like that. My legs are up in the air. Now, if you are super tight, you could potentially put it, and you can't reach your feet here, you could potentially put a towel up and around your feet. But I think the majority of us are okay out here. Someone needs to go and grab their towel. One of us is going to grab their towel around their feet. Yep. And that just gives you that extra inch. And now you're good. And we're just going to hang out here and just focus on breathing in through your nose, out through your mouth, trying to get the crown of your head flat on the floor, trying to get your shoulder blades to sit back and down. So imagine you were standing upright with perfect posture. Your chest is up, your ribs are up, your shoulder blades are back and down. And then as we breathe in, build up your ribs, big chest. And then as we breathe out, pull your knees in a little bit closer to your body. Just getting your lower back to become a little bit more of a C shape. Breathing in. And then as we breathe out, each vertebrae just separates just that little bit more. And you imagine each vertebrae just relaxing, one joint after the other. From here, we can take a big deep breath in. And as we breathe out, let's try and straighten out that right knee into a bit of a hamstring stretch. Keep that left knee tucked into our chest. Breathing in, bring the right knee in a little bit closer, and then breathing out, extend the left leg this time. Breathing in, left knee to chest. Breathing out, extend the right. If you want a bit more, you can pull your right toes back towards your face. Breathing in, right knee should be really low this time. Breathing out, extend the left. And again, if you want a bit more on the hamstring, you can pull those left toes back towards your face. You might feel that left calf a little bit more. One more, just breathing in, and we'll bring those both knees in and hold. 2 more breaths. Breathing in and breathing out. From here, let's come up. Whew. How's our lower back feeling now? A little bit released? Yeah. You can see why I turned side on to the laptop for that. I was facing the laptop and I decided potentially not the best view. What do you reckon? For a good 3 minutes as well. If it was just a quick one, yeah, but man, that's really going on. Okay, let's come up onto our palms and into plank pose. Actually, no, we won't go into plank yet. We'll start here on hands and knees. Let's work out cat and camel. So from here, big breath in for cat and arching our back, lifting our chin, lifting our ribs. Breathing out, rounding over, tucking our tailbone, shoulder blades rounding over. Breathing in and cat. Breathing out and camel. 2 more. Lifting our ribs. And as we breathe out, really try and tuck that tailbone in underneath, and you'll start to feel some of those muscles that we just used in the happy baby. Really push yourself away from the ground. Strong, wide shoulder blades. Now we'll pop up into a plank. I'm just going to rock back and forward on our hands. You can see I get my weight just slightly forward of my hands and then back. Liana or pregnant people, you can do this on your knees, same thing. Just stay on the knees and just rock back and forwards. Just build a little bit of strength and heat in the forearms. And now from here, up in our plank, let's push back into downward facing dog. So just try and get our heels nice and low, but nice and high. And we've done quite a lot of down dogs, but often we don't spend much time thinking about them. So what I'm going to do is we're just going to hang out here, and I just want you to focus on just little bits of your down dog. So we want to focus on firstly our elbow position. So our elbows aren't out to the side like a push-up. We want them neutral, and if anything, kind of what we call external rotation, which is the elbows are rotated towards the external, the outside of our body. So unless we're, being exorcised, that's not really going to happen. But what we try and do is we try and imagine our elbows rotating at least towards the front, and you'll find that'll squeeze your shoulder blade muscles together just a little bit. You might feel a little bit of tension now underneath your shoulder blades as you squeeze those elbows in. From here, drop your chin. And I like to imagine my hands to my hips forming a bow in to out. So it kind of goes from my hands into my shoulder blades and then back out to my hips. So it's not quite a straight line, and it's certainly not going from hands and out back to in. Try and imagine your spine curling the opposite way to what it normally does. Yes, it is. I've noticed we have been here for a long time. Try and keep your knees straight. Try and tilt your hips and get your butt up nice and high. Create as much distance from your heels to your hips as you possibly can. Let's hold on for 3 more deep breaths. Breathing out, lengthen, drop the heels. Breathing in, breathing out, lengthen, drop the heels. Last one. And drop our knees to the floor, child's pose. How are we doing? That was easy. Yeah, that was good. Breathing in, coming up into plank. Let's breathing out, work through our vinyasa. So our slow push up, elbows in. Breathing in, chest up, upward facing dog. Breathing out, push back for a much shorter downward facing dog. Let's kick our left leg up in the air this time. Single leg dog. So our right heel is probably on the floor or very close to it. And then as we breathe out, bring that left knee to chest. Breathing in, kick back, single leg dog. Breathing out, left knee to chest. And then this time, try and place it between the 2 hands. You might need to drag it up there. I can do it on my left. I can't do it on my right. So that's interesting. Okay. From here, let's heel. Actually, no, we'll leave that foot there. We'll do a bit of hamstring first. So from here, now this is where your foam roller or your block might come in handy. If you have your foam roller, place it maybe just in front of your toes like this, and it'll give you a little bit of extra range. Alternatively, you can just... Sorry, did I take your one? Here you go, here's one, Sam. Oh, you got one? Okay. So I've got my foam roller here just in front of my toes. Just gives me a little bit of extra range and makes the ground just that little bit more accessible. From here, breathing in, are we all in position here? Breathing in and lock out that front left knee. Breathing out, coming forward, lifting your chest, dropping the right knee. Hip flexor stretch. I'm just hearing, ooh, ah, in the background. Breathing in, let's lock out that front knee again. Try and get your head down as close to your knee and shin as you can. Breathing out, drop the right knee, lift the chest and the ribs, come right up onto the fingertips if you can. That'll give you a little bit more range. One more time, breathing in, lock out the front knee. Breathing out, drop the right knee, lift the chest, fingertips up on the foam roller. If you don't need the foam roller, by the way, feel free not to use it. But for us mere morsels, the foam roller is quite handy. Let's heel toe that left foot out to the side and place our left hand on the inside of the left knee. You can put your foam roller now just underneath your right hand, or you can put your right hand on the floor, depending on your flexibility. Breathing in here, lift the left hand and rotate. And from here, we'll just maybe take 2 more breaths here. Breathing out, sinking the right hip forward. Really good for opening up. Obviously, our hip flexors are pretty much tight on everybody. Anybody that sits down for a job. Also, pregnant people, hip flexors, super, super tight. And as you get more and more pregnant, your hip flexors will get even tighter. So this is a good one to open that up. Now, this one's a maybe, this next part. It's also a maybe for me. I'm interested to see how this goes. If you can, reach back and grab your foot with your left hand. Now, the maybe is the hamstring cramp that sometimes you get, which I just got there. And it seems to be almost completely random because I actually did this earlier, didn't get the cramp. And then this time you'd think after some stretching, I'd be fine, but no, it cramped. So if you can, reach back, grab the foot and come up into hold. If you can't, just stay here. Still, oh, that hamstring's really cramping up for me now. So just staying here, right hand on the left knee, and then reaching back like so. If you can grab the foot, great. If you can't grab the foot, that's okay. If you can't grab the foot, as you breathe out, really try and imagine that right hip sinking forward. So see how I really drop into this hip? Okay, final one here. Let's come down, both hands on the inside of that left foot. Let's try and get both elbows down on the floor. Again, if you can't, that's okay. This is where your foam roller becomes quite useful. And this is what's quite interesting. I think I'm more flexible than Sarah, and yet she can do this and I cannot. Everyone's different. So we'll hang out here. Elbows on the foam roller if you need them. If you can get one hand down and the other one not, that's quite beneficial as well. 3 breaths here. Let's come up onto our hands. Let's step back into plank. Remember that? Remember plank? Forward onto our tippy toes. Work our vinyasa. So elbows tucked in, nice, slow. You can do this on your knees or on your toes, it's fine. Keep your hips off the floor 1 inch. Breathing in, chest up. Breathing out, push back. Now let's do the right hand side. So let's get our right leg up in the air, nice and high. Breathing out, right knee to chest. Strong shoulder blades. Breathing in, kick back, single leg dog. And then this time, right foot through the middle. As you can see, that's the one I needed my hand for. Now, this is where we had our foam roller in front. If you don't need it, well, good for you. But the rest of us need it. Hands on the foam roller, breathing in, lock out that right knee. Head down close to your knee. Breathing out, drop the left knee, lift the chest, hip flexor, nice and tall. Shoulders back, chest up. Breathing in, lean forward, lock out that right knee. Let's try and get our head down a little bit closer to our knee. Breathing out, drop the left knee, lift the chest, shoulder blades back, tall, tall, tall. One more time, breathing in. And I don't know about you, but I've just been keeping track of how close my forehead is to my knee. I was able to touch it on that third one. Breathing out, nice and tall. Now this is where we attempted to reach back and grab that foot. So if you can grab your back foot, great. Place your left hand on the outside of your right knee. And if you can grab the foot, fantastic. If you can't, that's okay. I'm able to do it for a little bit. And then the hamstring cramp. So if you're not, that's okay. Just get that twist through the spine. Breathing in, breathing out, and push. You can bind off that right knee and rotate that right arm back. One more big breath in. One more big breath out. Place both hands on the inside of the right knee or the right foot. If you need to, we can place the foam roller down. Just take your left knee back a little bit if you can. And this is where we sink down and stretch out that right hip joint, right glute. Head resting on your hands and your forehead. We'll take a couple of deep breaths here. Every time you breathe out, just think about that tight spot, wherever that is. It might be in the hip crease on the top. It might be the glute here underneath. It might be trying to get your hip closer to your heel. It might be the compression up on the side. Try and keep the hip nice and square if you can. If you found that your knee is rotating, your right knee is rotating to the outside, try and bring it back in and just sink down a little bit deeper. If you can, take your left knee back a little bit further. From here up to our hands. Back into plank. Work through our vinyasa. Slowly, slowly, slowly. Elbows tucked in. 1 inch off the floor. Breathing in, chest up. Breathing out, hips rise. Tailbone nice and high. Elbows, external rotation. Let's do some more active stuff now. So from here, let's bend our knees and hop, step, or float up to our hands. Let's place our hands on the inside of our feet. You just grab a hold of your big toe if you can. I can actually grab hold of my toes, one of the many, many, many benefits of my shoes. Breathing in here, breathe. And so we're sitting in a nice deep squat and then breathing out, lock out the knees, hamstring. Breathing in and squat, breathing out and hamstring. Let's do 5 reps. We've done 2. Breathing in and squat, nice and tall. Breathing out and hamstring. Breathing in and squat. So let's get up tall, shoulders back. Whoa, don't fall over. And then breathing out and hamstring. Last one. Breathing in, squat, tall, shoulders back, chest up. Breathing out and hamstring. Let's place our knees on the floor. Tuck our toes underneath. Place our hands back on our heels. And then from here, breathing in and breathing out, push your hips forward, pull your shoulders back, opening up through the chest, the shoulders, and the hips on the front. Breathing in and drop, breathing out and lift. That's 2. Breathing in and drop, breathing out and lift. You might get some benefit from pushing your 2 feet apart, the heels apart as well, opening up the chest. 3. Breathing in and drop, breathing out and lift. 4. Breathing in and drop, breathing out and lift. 5. Place the feet flat on the floor, sinking back onto the heels. Place your left hand behind you, breathing in, breathing out, lift the right hand up and over. So now it's just one side. Breathing in, place the right hand behind you, lift the left, breathing out and push. Breathing in, put the left, breathing out and right hand up. Breathing in, breathing out. That's 2 of 5. Breathing in, breathing out. 3 of 5. One last one each side. Open up, reach that back hand as close to the ground as you can. Okay. Let's come forward into plank. How are we doing? How are our legs feeling? Yeah, they're actually working a fair bit, aren't they? This is the thing. Our muscles work as a system of what we call agonists and antagonists, or synergists and what's the other one? I forget the opposite of synergist. Antagonist it might be. When one muscle's stretching, another muscle is working to push through it. So in the case of what we just did there, okay, this is why I'm actually a little bit out of breath. As I lift up, my hip flexors are stretching, but my glutes are doing that, right? And then when we go back the opposite way, it's our hamstrings that work while our quads stretch, etc. So while one muscle is doing, the other one is stretching, and vice versa. We're never actually just doing nothing. And the tighter you are, the harder you have to work to push through that. Let's start up in our plank. Breathing in here, and then just rotating out onto the right foot, placing our right hand on the floor, side plank. Let's hover our left foot and bring that left knee up to our chest if we can. By the way, if you're more than about 6 weeks pregnant, just place the right knee on the floor. Sorry about that. Right foot up, right left knee up, and then rotate that left knee back, opening up through the front. Our left hand goes up over the top towards our right hand. Just look down at your right hand, strong through that right elbow. If you're on the right knee, it's still the same thing. Strong through that right elbow. From here, let's cartwheel that left hand down through our vinyasa, either knees or toes, depending on your pregnancy. Breathing in, chest up. Breathing out, push back. Let's do the same thing on the left-hand side. So forward into plank, either knees or toes, rotating onto the outside of the left foot. Hover that right foot off the floor, hover the right hand in the air. Look down at your left hand. Bring the right knee up to your chest. You're either on knees or toes, but bring the right knee up to your chest. And then rotate it onto the back. Lift your hips. Right hand goes up over the top towards our left hand. Strong through that left elbow. You're either on your feet or you've got your left knee on the floor. That's okay. Strong through the left knee if you're up on your toes. 2 more breaths. Breathing in, breathing out. It is hard to hold. Breathing in, breathing out. Cartwheel that right hand down up onto our toes, either knees or toes. Work through our vinyasa. 3, 2, 1. Breathing in, chest up. Breathing out, push back. How are we doing? Okay, let's get into a few more standing things now. So from here, hop or jump to the front, heel toes together. Breathing in, hands up, nice and high. Breathing out, hands to fold. Breathing in, halfway, straighten out your spine. Breathing out to fold. Grab hold of the ankles and pull yourself in. Breathing in, hands up, nice and high. And I'll just step back a little bit so I can be seen on the computer. And from here, let's step back into a lunge pose. Left leg in front, right foot behind, right leg is nice and strong. Breathing in, hands up, nice and high. Warrior 1 pose. Just rotate that right foot out, ever so slightly, the right toes out, so you can have your right toes or right heel on the floor. But from here, square up your body. So even though we've got our right toes pointed outwards, I've got my hips both pointing forwards, my chest is pointing forwards, my hands nice and high. From here, let's go into Warrior 2, which is dropping my right hand off to the side, sinking into that front leg. Now, as I try and get my left hip down into my left hip down towards my left heel. Breathing in here, drop the left elbow onto the left knee, right hand comes over the top, side bend. Breathing in, drop the right hand down the back of the right leg, lift the left hand, exalted warrior. Breathing in here, and then as we breathe out, put either the left elbow down on the knee, or if you can, the left hand down on the floor, and the right hand over the top this time. If you can, now let's get our right hand to point straight up to the sky. Pyramid pose. Let's reverse one more time. Drop the right, lift the left, stretch through the front. Keep down that left knee bending still. Right leg nice and active. Breathing out. Reverse down to the front, triangle once more. Last one, reverse. Last triangle. If you can, lock out that front leg. From here, let's cartwheel both hands down to the front. Stepping back into plank. I think we know what's coming. Rock onto the tippy toes, elbows tucked in. Slow push up, chest up, push back. Let's step forward with the right leg. Breathing in, hands high, crescent lunge. And then rotate that left toes out to the side. Warrior 1. Keep our hips forward. Keep our shoulders pointing straight ahead. Hold that Warrior 1. And then from here, drop the hands side. So now I'm facing you guys over here. Sink down into that right foot. All the weight is above that right heel. Warrior 2. From here, right elbow goes down. Left arm comes over the top. And side bend. Drop the left hand down the back of the left leg. Lift the right. Exalted warrior. Let's do 2 more each side. So down to the side. If you can, place the hand on the floor. Triangle pose. This is quite handy being able to see myself on the screen. I should have been doing this from the beginning. If you can, lock out that front leg. If you can't, that's okay. Leave it where it is. Breathing in. Coming back. Stretch through those right ribs. Get that right hand as far back behind you as you can. Breathing out, down to triangle. Try and lock out a little bit further with that right hamstring. Squeeze your left glute and try and keep your 2 hips in line with one another. Rather than your butt hanging out like that, let's try and get that butt tucked in underneath. From here, cartwheel those hands down. We know what's coming. Slide back into plank, rocking onto the toes. Slow, 2, 3 on the way down. Breathing in, chest up. breathing out. Hips rise. I think we're almost done. Is there anything else in particular we'd like to do? Is anything feeling tight, or are we feeling good? We're feeling good now. Had enough stretching for today. Hamstrings, hamstrings, hamstrings. What time is it? Woo. Okay, let's start down in a squat. So very quick drink if you need it. A couple of people have. We'll continue with flexibility, but we'll increase the intensity. Because we've only got 7 minutes left. That went longer than I thought it was going to. So, well, that's the whole plan, is that it's a little bit of heart rate. It's not as high as speed class, but it's something. So let's sink down into our squat again. So hands in the center, just push your knees apart using your elbows. Breathing in here. Let's put our right hand on the outside, lift the left hand. Let's get a bit of a back stretch, or not a bit of a back stretch, a very good back stretch. Breathing in, left hand on the outside of the left foot, right hand up and look up to your right. Keep that balance. If you can keep your heels on the floor, even better. I cannot. So if you can, better. Keep swapping. Breathing in and drop. Breathing out and rise. Breathing in and drop. Breathing out and rise. One more each side. Breathing in and drop. Breathing out and rise. From here, let's bring our elbows back to our knees, sinking down into that squat as deep as we can. Now from here, if you're at the very bottom of your squat, yes, that's good. If you have a hill and you can face downhill, I would. Or if you can maybe place a book, if you're at home underneath your heels, that will help you. I'm not going to face downhill because then all you'll see is my butt. So I'll face uphill and just bear the burden of having to do this slightly incorrectly. From here, let's lift our hips 1 inch. I'm just going to hold for 10 seconds or 3 breaths. In through our nose, out through our mouth. That was the first floor. We're going to ride the elevator all the way to the top. Second floor, 1 inch higher. Elbows are still on the knees. Breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth. Third floor, breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth. I haven't got my elbows on my knees anymore. They may be 1 inch off. Strong, stable knees. Breathing in, let's come up 1 more level. So we're almost standing up. We're probably just above parallel. My butt is just above the height of my knees. Hands are still together. One more, 3/4 up. Breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth. This would normally be easy, but after all the other levels, this is still quite tough. And finally, let's stand up tall. Big breath in, hands up right above our head. Breathing out, stepping down onto the floor. Let's step back into plank. This is where I'll advise you to think carefully about choosing either knees or toes for this next exercise. We're going to ride the elevator down on our arms. So, who's chosen knees? A few of us. Okay, great. I'll choose toes because I'm big and tough and I'm doing it for the video. Okay, let's start up here on the plank pose. Let's go down to the first floor basement. 1 inch down, 3 deep breaths. Second floor. So almost a parallel, I would say. Third floor, shoulders parallel to elbows, chest maybe 1 inch off the floor. If you're on your knees, it's exactly the same. You haven't got your hips on the floor. Your butt is in line with your shoulder blades. If you're on your toes, your butt is still in line with your shoulder blades. I think that's enough time. Let's go 1 tiny centimeter off the floor. Shoulders forward, elbows high, holding for 3. Tuck your tailbone in 2. Breathing out 1, and you can relax. Breathing in, chest up. Breathing out, hips rise. Let's hop or jump to the front. Let's heel toe our feet into the center. Drop our hips, lift our hands, chair pose. Place our hands nice and high behind our head. You can either grasp them together like a gun, like I'm doing, or you can have them apart. Just leave them directly, behind the ears. That's the goal. So it's not out in front. It is up as high as we can. We're just going to hold here for 10 deep breaths. As you breathe out, you can sink your squat a little deeper. If you need to give your legs a break, you can come down into a deep squat, but I want you to keep those arms all the way up there. You're starting to feel the burn in the back of the shoulders now. 3 more big breaths. 1 moment in, 1 breath out. 2 in, 2 out. 3 in, 3 out. Place your hands on the floor. Breathing in halfway, nice back stretch. Breathing out to fold. Breathing in, hands all the way up above our head. Breathing out to fold. Breathing in, hop or jump back to plank. Work through our vinyasa for I think the last time today. Breathing in, chest up. Let's hang out here. Point your toes behind you. Lift your ribs, shoulder blades down. 2 more big deep breaths here. Breathing out, belly button out in front. Shoulder blades down. 1 more, tuck your toes. Pushing back. Walk your hands back as far as you can. Sink your hips down into the floor. Knees down, child's pose to finish. How are we doing? I think we can call it. Or can we? What time is it? 1:13. Should we do some more? I'm hearing no. I'm hearing we're had enough. Let's call it there at 1:13. You can have a 2-minute early mark. Spend it wisely. Thank you, everybody. Yeah, loose. I'm actually quite out of breath from that. So I will see you tomorrow for Spartan class. We will make up those extra 2 minutes. We'll finish at 1:17. No, I'm not sure what we'll do tomorrow. We'll do our usual circuit class for tomorrow. Thank you, everybody, for joining me. How'd you go, Zoomers?
Hey, Tim, that's good. But for this class, if you could just let me know in advance, and it's better done indoors. It's very sunny, and to face the sun, it's very hard.
Yes, I was moving between sun and shade out here as well. Yes, very good. All right, how are you doing, Liana? You okay?
Good. Got sweaty, actually.
Yeah, me too. I'm actually a bit sweaty. I did not think I would be, but yes, I am. So that was good. Thank you, everybody. How are your hip flexors, Liana? They're good? They're open?
Yeah, I think so.
Very good. All right, I'll see you later.
Yeah, see ya.
See you guys.